Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, so you will be taking session today.
Yes, sir. Sir, on organizational structure and team management.
Sound, I think, a little bit not clear. Not clear. Microphone.
Sorry, sir.
You are using microphone.
Yes, sir. My laptop mic is connected. Can you
Okay,
hear me, sir?
okay. Sound, I think maybe. Acha, which topic you will take now?
Sir, organizational structure and team management.
Okay, okay. So let me check the number of participants. I
Yes,
think
sir.
right now only 13, 14 participants have joined. We can wait for maybe around 2, 3 minutes.
Sure, sir.
At
Sure.
least when 30, at least 30 participants are joined, then we can start.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Just 2 to 3 minutes only. We'll not wait more.
Okay, sir.
Good afternoon, dear students. Today we have Ma'am Janu Das, and I think yesterday also she has already taken one lecture. Today also she will be taking lecture on organizational structure and team management. So now we have already around 25 plus participants. Our students are from diverse, say, topography, from different locations, majority from Nagaland, but they are from Northeast also and other parts of India. So there is a mixed background, and all of now they are in final year of BSc Agri. So with this background, I invite Ms. Janu Das to take your session now. You can start your session. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So, good afternoon, all of you. Let's begin. Our today's topic of discussion is organizational structure and team management. Now, today we'll be discussing on a very important topic because whenever you plan to set up or you plan to start your own organization, it becomes very important to decide what structure or what structure you plan to follow for your organization. Okay, so how will your organization actually run, or who will be the people who will be actually helping you out in carrying on your business forward? So when these questions come in, you need to decide the structure which you plan to follow, and then of course team management, which is of utmost importance. Okay, so let me just share with you a small PPT. Yeah, I hope this is visible. The PPT is visible.
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay, sir. So, when we talk about organizational structure and team management, let's just quickly check what topics we are going to cover today. Okay. So, firstly, we will be discussing on organizational structure. What is organizational structure? Why is it important? These things we'll be discussing. Then, secondly, we will follow with the important building blocks of an organizational structure. Okay, depending on what factors do we need to decide the structure of our organization. Fine. Then we will be discussing, which is an important topic, types of organizational structure. Now, once we discuss the different types of organizational structure which are available, along with their advantages and disadvantages, you will be able to decide that when you start your own venture, when you start your own entrepreneurship unit, what structure suits you best. Okay, that you'll be able to decide. Then there is something known as stages of an organization. We will be quickly going through the different stages and why stages are important for us, because if you just see the next immediate topic which we will be discussing, the signs which might which might show us why we need to change or when we need to change a structure. Okay, depending on our different stages. Fine. So the types of structure which we will be talking about, it is not rigid. We may shift from one structure to the other. Okay, and the stages of an organization will help us to identify when the change in the structure is required. So these topics we will be discussing. Then coming to your area of work or your area of your project, uh, you can decide that what will be your proposed organization structure. When you're doing your business, what organizational structure you plan to implement for your business. Now, since you are doing in a very small scale, you may plan to expand in a bigger scale after you pass out from your college or university, isn't it? So at that point of time, if you want to continue with this particular venture which you plan to start, then what structure you can opt to follow. Okay. Then we will be talking about how your selected structure will help you achieve business goals, your business goals. So I'm sure when you're writing your business plan, you have in mind your mission, vision, your goals, what you want to achieve through your business, isn't it? So how this structure will help you in achieving your business goals. Fine. So this part is your organizational structure part. Then we will have the next topic, that is team management. So under team management, we will be firstly discussing what is a team, the meaning of a team, what do you understand by the term team. Then we will be talking about team management and a few tips which will help you build a better team, how to organize your team, or how you can effectively utilize your team members. Okay. Then the importance of an idea generator. Fine. We will be discussing on this. And then the characteristics of a good or effective team. What features a good team need to possess. Okay. And then we will end with how to build your team. What elements you need to focus upon while building your own team. Okay. So let's begin. Now, what is an organizational structure? So I have been saying structure, organizational structure. Now, what is organizational structure? Let's quickly go through this. So, in a business, when I talk about organizational structure, it is a system which shows how certain activities or in what manner certain activities will take place in the business. Okay. It includes different activities like rules, roles, responsibilities. Now, if I would like to give you an example, or if you want to understand with an example, let me just tell you that suppose you are the owner of your business, okay, and you have 100 employees. Fine. So, in what manner will you control your employees? In what manner will you deliberate the different tasks to your employees? Okay. What responsibilities will the different employees possess? Because having 100 employees doesn't mean that all 100 of them will be playing the same role. or all 100 of them will be having the same responsibility, isn't it? There will be division in the work process. There will be division of responsibilities. There will be division in the role which they will be playing, isn't it? So how these will actually be implemented in your business? Okay, so that will be depending on the structure which your business is following. Okay, you will be getting a clear idea of this as we proceed. Next, the organizational structure determines how information flows between the members of the company or between the different levels. Okay, so if I tell about how information flows, a very small and simple example. Suppose tomorrow will be a holiday. Okay, tomorrow will be a holiday in your company. Okay, it's a working day, but you decided there will be a holiday. Now, who will decide it will be a holiday? Can the employees or can the workers at the lower level, can they say that, okay, sir, tomorrow we are not coming for work? Can they do it? Of course, no, isn't it? So who decides that there might be a holiday tomorrow? That suppose there is, a big event in the back home in the owner's family, or maybe something important happened and the owner decides that, okay, let me declare 1 day holiday for everyone. Okay. So who will be taking the decision? Of course, the head of the company or the head of the organization. And how will that information flow? It's a very simple example, isn't it? The head of the company will not come down to the factory or to in the workshop and tell, okay, tomorrow no need to come. He will not do that, isn't it? There will be a proper structure. There will be a format. He might be giving a written order. He might be asking his subordinates or his juniors to announce it, isn't it? That flow of information, it can be any information. Okay, that flow of information depends on the structure, in which manner the information is flowing. Okay. Next, in a centralized structure, decision flows from top to bottom, of course. And when I say centralized structure, what do I mean here? That the entire control is under one particular hand. Okay, the top level, the top management is taking all the decisions, and from there, the information or the orders are flowing down. Whereas in a decentralized structure, the decision making power gets distributed. Fine. So here we need to understand one thing. When we talk about levels of management, we normally talk about three levels. Okay. There is the top level management, there is the middle level management, which we commonly call as the mid level management, and there is the bottom level or the lower level management. Okay. Broadly, there are three levels. Fine. So in a centralized structure, all the decisions comes from the hand of the top management. And in case of a decentralized structure, decisions can be taken by the mid-level management and that can be delegated to the lower level of management. Okay. Uh, we'll be discussing in details in the different types of structure again. Now, when we talk about building blocks, okay, on what factors our organizational structure depends. Okay, what are the elements depending on which our organizational structure will actually perform or function. Okay, so there is something known as chain of command. Fine, just now which we have talked about, that who is giving the command, from where the orders are coming in, the chain of command. Okay, how broad or how narrow the chain of command is, these things we will be discussing. Then there is something known as span of control. Okay, in what area the management is having its control? Who are the people who are controlling the different areas? Okay, is one particular person controlling, or there are other people in the management who are having a control? Fine. This span of control, in again we will see that there is a wide span of control, there is a narrow span of control, there are people who are controlling a small group of people. Okay, this type of things we will be discussing. Then again, the concept of centralization comes in. How or from where the authority will be running the organization. Okay, depending on centralization, again your structure will be depending on. Then specialization. When we talk about specialization again, what we will find that suppose a person is specialized in finance. Okay, there is someone in the organization who is specialized in sales and marketing. Fine. there is someone who is specialized for branding of the product. Okay, so these people, if I'm having specialized people, specialized human resource in my organization, then what I can do, I can create or I can prepare my structure in such a way that each person, each specialized person is taking care of his individual team or his individual group. Okay, so depending, if I create my structure depending on this factor, specialization, then my structure will be a bit different. If I create my structure depending on centralization, my structure might vary. It may be a bit different. Okay, so these are the factors. Then there's departmentalization, formalization. Okay, we will be discussing on these one by one. Now, firstly, when we talk about chain of command, as I told you, there is a long chain of command or a short chain of command. So what happens is that if our organizational structure is very clearly determined or is in a very wide way, it is mentioned that on the top, if you can see in the image, that on the top there will be the CEO or there will be the head of the organization. He will be followed by the vice president, the VP, then the director, then the senior managers, then the lower level managers, then there will be the specialist, there will be the employees. This is a very long chain of command. Okay, so the decision making criteria or the decision making process will be in the hand of the main CEO or the main person at the top management, and the command will be flowing down step by step, passing through these different layers and then reaching at the bottom level. Okay, and in case of a short chain of command, what will happen? There will be no such detailed divisions in the structure, and directly the topmost person will be ordering, the manager will be there, the specialist will be there, and immediately the command will be reaching at the bottom level. Okay, so if you just want to read this out, one of the most basic elements for organizational structure, that is the chain of command. If you want to have the direct control over authority, you will follow a short chain. If you're having a wide and detailed division in your organization, then you will be following the long chain of command. Okay, chain of command, it clarifies who reports to whom within the organization. Fine. Then the next point which we have talked about, that is the span of control. Fine. So if we talk about span of control, it refers to the number of subordinates a superior is managing. Fine. So if you look at the first image, that is the wide span of control, you see here that there will be a CEO, and below the CEO there will be 4 different heads. Let's take an example. There might be the production head, the finance head, okay, the marketing head, okay, then maybe the advertising head. They have created a different department for advertisement. So the CEO is completely controlling these different heads. And these particular heads are controlling their own groups, are controlling their own people who are working in that particular department. So the finance person, the finance head, he's controlling his people who is working in accounts, in audit, in finance, okay, in procurement of loans, okay, in giving out of the different receipts, the receivables, or maybe the payables which they have to give out, okay. The marketing person, he is taking care of all the sales and marketing of the branding of the different clients they are working with, okay. So below the marketing person, there will be a wide group of people who will be working only for the particular department. So what the head person is doing, he is controlling the immediate juniors, and these juniors, they're controlling a wide group of people. Okay, so at the bottom of the one particular manager or one particular head, there is a vast number of employees. Fine. If you look at the narrow span here, what will you find? The CEO himself is controlling a very limited number of people, and those limited number of people, they are controlling a few more limited number of employees. So what you can say, that if our organization is working in a small scale or in lower limits, then the narrow span of control may play an important role. If it is a vast organization working in diverse areas, then the wide span of control will be playing its role. Fine. Okay. Then, as we have talked about centralization and decentralization. Now, This, as I have already told you, the decision making power is concentrated at one single point. In the case of centralization, I think it is clear from the image itself that if a centralized controlling manner is followed, then the controlling is done by one particular group or maybe one particular person, and he is directly controlling all the other workers or all the other people in the organization. If it is decentralized, then what can you see in the second image? That at the top, of course, there is someone, and you can see the first row. Okay, the arrow which is connecting all the three heads. Fine, and the three different heads, they can also communicate between them, and below them they are giving down the orders. Okay, so the organizational structure, decision making power is spread out. If the decision can be taken by different groups of people, they do not need to wait for one particular person to deliberate the orders or to give them the orders. If it is delegated, if it is decentralized, then we can say that the structure which they are following is a decentralized structure. Okay, now depending on specialization. Now here what happens, if I say that, uh, let's take this example as you can see in the image, that for sales and marketing, okay, for sales, let's say, for your product, suppose you are dealing in a particular product, and for the sales, you have a specialized body, a specialized team who will be taking care of your sales only, your sales and marketing. Fine. And you are into exports. Let's take an example that you export your products. Okay. Even locally made products, they are very much in high demand in the international market. Okay. So even your local products, if you plan to export, then suppose you have hired someone who can take care of your sales and marketing, a person who is specialized in sales and marketing. You have hired him. Now what happens, since you are also into exports, what you decide to do, that within India, the sales within our country will be taken care of by one person. The person taking care of our international businesses will be a other person. Okay. So here, depending on specialization, you are deciding what structure you are going to form in your organization. So within the country, uh, you have one person taking care of it, and for your international business, for your export purpose, you have appointed another person. Okay, in another sense, if you try to see that we are operating, okay, we are operating in a very small scale, and there such questions of having a very specialized person and giving him a very high amount of salary is not required. Then what you can do for your sales and marketing, you do not hire a very much specialized person, you just go for the sale representatives who have minimum skill or minimum knowledge of sales. They can go and they can market or they can sell your products. Okay, that's why I'm saying that these criteria help to help you to decide what structure you are actually going to implement in your organization. That again varies from organization to organization. If your business is running in a very wide scale, then your structure varies. If your business is running in a lower scale, then again the structure varies. Okay, fine. Then talking about formal or informal. Now, formalization deals with how jobs are structured within the organization. And here, what is the difference between formalization and specialization? That formalization takes into account the degree to which an employee's tasks and activities are governed by rules and procedures. Okay. So if I tell you that the CEO or maybe the top level of management, they are following a very strict formal code in the business. Okay. And suppose the lower level of management, they are saying that, okay, when we deal with our upper levels or with our senior levels, we are following a strict formal code. And when we are dealing in within our same colleagues, if you see the last row in the informal structure, specialist, they are all connected by arrows. When I say that we are dealing with colleagues who are at par or at the same level, then we are following an informal pattern, or maybe an informal communication takes place. But when we are dealing with the upper levels or the upper segments of the organization, then we are following a very formal code of conduct or a very formal mode of communication. Okay. Then again, coming to departmentalization. Here again, what departmentalization refers to, it is the process of grouping jobs together in order to coordinate common activities and tasks. Okay, so suppose I tell you that we are working in a very wide scale of organization, or we are working in a huge organization who are having huge number of departments working in that particular organization. Then each and every department will be having its own team. Okay, if we say that if there is a loose departmentalization, there is no strict division of departments. Okay, then you can see in the image, team 1 and team 2, they are coordinating among themselves. The members of team 1 and team 2, in the carrying forward of the business, even they are communicating between themselves. The arrows which shows that there is communication between the different departments and also the members of the departments. But if there is a very strict departmentalization, there is a strict or rigid uh, departments which are identified, then each department is working for that particular department alone. There is no communication, or there is absence of communication between these departments. Okay. Now, after this, after deciding on my organizational structure, now we have come to know that these are the areas depending on which my structure will depend. Now we need to know what are the different types of organizational structure which are available for us. So once we know the different structures which are available, then we can easily opt for one of them, whichever suits our business. Okay. So you can see here, there are different structures like team structure, functional or staff structure, divisional structure, there's the matrix form, there's hierarchical structure, and the flat structure. These are a few of the structures. I'll quickly check the chat box once if there is any communication. Okay, the question and answer panels, it is blank. I think there is no message in the chat box. Okay, okay, fine. Then the first when we talk about the team structure. Now, when we talk about a team structure, it refers to a small group of people who are focusing on one particular activity. Okay, so we have small teams. Each team will have their own leader, and the leader will take care of any confusion or chaos which takes place. Just just like a cricket team, okay, or a football team. Fine. What is the function of the captain in the team? He has to motivate all the players. He has to make them contribute as a team, and what he has to do as a captain or as the leader of the team, he also has to contribute from his own self. He has to contribute, plus he has to motivate the others to contribute towards the team. The same thing happens even in a business organization. The team leader, the leader of the team, he contributes along with motivating and inspiring the other team members. He has to coordinate between his team member. So this structure is helpful for a small group of people when limited number of people are working, and a small business is being carried out. And even in large organizations, small teams may be created to meet their different needs. Okay. Now, what are the advantages and disadvantages of the team structure? Now, let's see the advantages first. It increases productivity, performance, and transparency by breaking down the silos. Now, when we say increases productivity, how it increases productivity? Because each individual, each member of the team will be contributing. He will be performing, and he has to give his best, isn't it? So the productivity as a whole, it increases. Transparency, why transparency? Because it's a very small team and everybody gets to know what the other person is doing. There is limited scope of hiding something and not letting the other person know that I'm doing this thing. Okay, things become more transparent and it here helps to break down the bulk factor, the silos. Okay, and it promotes a growth mindset. Why growth mindset? Because each member will be working for the team. They have to contribute, isn't it? There will be personal growth, there will be individual growth, and there will be also a overall growth for the organization. So the growth mindset immediately comes in when the question of a team arises. Okay, values experience rather than seniority, isn't it? The experiences are valued. Okay, seniority is of course there, but the more experienced you are, the more you contribute towards the team. And of course, it requires minimal management. A small group of people, managing a small group of people is much more easier than managing a huge group of people, isn't it? And what is the disadvantage or cons if we say that it might make promotional path less clear. If you look at the image again, suppose a person at the lower stage, a team member having two more people in his team, they may get confused that okay, if I get promoted, where will I reach, in which stage will I reach? So these type of promotional confusions might arise. Okay, then there is the functional or staff structure. This is the second one after team. Now this is in a little bit. This is a little expanded version. Okay, and this is one of the most common types of organizational structure which we often see. Okay, it is an organization with a functional structure would group all of the marketers together in one department, group all the sales people in a different department, and group all the customer service people in a third department. Now, if you remember the concept of departmentalization, which I have discussed just a few minutes back, that on what factors will my structure depend. So here, when I talk about the functional structure, which point is getting linked over here? The point of departmentalization. Now, let's take an example. That suppose you people are working on, let's say, dairy products. Okay, taking examples from the project which you people are working on, the participants. Suppose you're working on dairy product. Okay, suppose you're working on organic agri product. Fine, and then you plan to expand. Now let's take an example that since you're working in dairy products, you have set up a small business of your own. Your enterprise is set up. Okay, and now you have created a brand. Yesterday we have talked about creating your brand identity and trademark registration, all these things. So let's say that you have created your brand. Okay, you have your own name and identity. Fine, and now you are marketing your brand. Okay, you're marketing your brand. So for that, you have your marketing department. Fine, to take care of your sales, that you are doing a production in Nagaland. Fine, but you are not completely restricted to Nagaland, but you are also making sales across all the northeastern states, all the different states. Fine, then to take care of your sales in all the different states, you have appointed your sales department. Fine, then to arrange the finances, you have your finance department. Okay, then you have another department which is taking care of the production. Okay, how from how you're procuring the raw materials, are you maintaining the sources from where the raw materials are coming for the dairy product? Okay, the milk, the cheese, the butter. Okay, the this type of the ghee, from where these are coming. Okay, and do you have the required elements or the required equipments through which you will be producing, through which you will be processing your item? So this will be taken care of by the production department. So depending on your business, your structure depends. So since you have departmentalized your business, now you can opt for the functional structure. Now the case will be completely different if you are working as a sole proprietor. This again we will be discussing. If you are the person who is taking care of the production, you are taking care of the sales, you are taking care of the marketing, you are only arranging the finances, you have not appointed any person. Okay, then again the scenario will change. Fine. Now, what are the advantages and disadvantages of the functional structure? Now, looking at the advantages first, it allows employees to focus on their role. Okay, So they are playing their own individual role in their own individual department. Okay, no interfering in others' business. Fine. It encourages specialization, of course. If you are specialized in one particular area, you will be appointed in that particular department or in that particular field, isn't it? Then it helps teams and departments feel self-determined, isn't it? So the person will be taking care of the production. He is determined that no, I have to produce very good quality products. Only then this will be sold in the market in a high price or maybe having a good brand value. The person working in the finance department, he will be determined that no, I have to arrange for these different finances. I have to take care of all the accounts matters so that the business runs smoothly. The salesperson, he will be determined that I have to make this much amount of sale. This is my target. I need to fulfill my sales target. Only then the revenue generation will take place smoothly in the organization. So creating of departments, creating of teams, it makes them self-determined. Fine. It is easily scalable in any sized company. If you are planning to expand your business bit by bit, then you can easily go for this structure. Okay. And what are the disadvantages which we can talk about? It may hamper interdepartmental communication. This may happen. The person working in the production department, he may not be aware of the person who is in the marketing department because there is no connection between the two. The production department is producing. It is following a line of order, and the marketing person is only concerned about marketing the product. He doesn't know who are the people working in the production department. So there might be lack of departmental communication. Okay, so if a problem arises, it may take time to solve the problem, isn't it? Okay, then coming to the divisional structure. Now, on what basis will this structure be implied? This structure is implied when we focus on different products. One particular company producing different products. Okay, let's quickly see what it talks about. A divisional organizational structure is comprised of multiple smaller functional structures. Okay, and each division within its structure can have its own marketing team, its own sales team, and so on. Okay, this is product based divisional structure. It comes in the it comes into action when our organization is having or is working in different products. Let's take a very small example. Let's take the example of Apple. Okay, now Apple deals in iPhones, Apple deals in iPads. Okay, Apple deals in there are TVs. Then they deal in earpods. Okay, then they deal in smartwatches, Apple smartwatches. So all these different products is produced by one particular company, isn't it? Now these different products, for each particular product, now keep this in mind, one product differs from the other, isn't it? The iPad differs from the smartwatch. The earpod differs from the smart TV, isn't it? Now, for each different product, they will be setting up a different research and development team, a different marketing team, a different finance team. Okay, so this difference comes in if our organization depends on different products. Okay, if you ask me that, ma'am, since we are working in a project, or since we are preparing a business model or a business plan for our in a very small scale, then how can we implement this structure? If you ask me, see, suppose you are dealing in organic products. Okay, so if you say that under organic products there is the concept of organic vegetables. Okay, we can say, let us classify fruits and vegetables in one sector. Okay, then there is the concept of organic manure. If you want to deal in organic manure, then you will have some different product for your business, isn't it? If you want to deal in other FMCG products, okay, fast moving consumable goods, suppose soap, you have organic soap, isn't it? So you want to deal in organic soap, that becomes a different criteria under FMCG. There are organic incense sticks, isn't it? Then there are different cosmetic products, organic face mask, isn't it? It comes, suppose you say that there is this multani mitti and clay mask and all these things. And under your business of organic products, you have different divisions. fruits and vegetable is one sector, your organic manure is another sector, your FMCG product is another sector. So in this case, you can easily go for the divisional structure. Okay. Now, what are the advantages and disadvantages of the divisional structure? It helps large companies stay flexible. Of course, because we are dealing in such wide variety, okay, to take care of one particular product, we will be needing a complete set of people or a complete set of team to deal in that particular product. So it helps in flexibility. Okay. It allows for quicker response to industry changes or customer needs. Now, let's take an example again, taking your example only. The response of the FMCG organic product will be different from the response of the organic agri-based product, isn't it? You are working, you have started one particular company that is organic based products. Now, under organic based products, you have different line of products, isn't it? So the response or the changes or demands of the people or the customer for one product will be different from the other. So if you have a divisional structure, then it will be easily maintainable. You can quickly solve the problems of the customers or of the industry as a whole, isn't it? It promotes independence, autonomy, and customized approach. Of course, a customized approach for all your independent products, isn't it? And what happens in the disadvantaged sector? What might be the disadvantages? It can lead to duplicate resources, isn't it? So suppose you have procured something for your agricultural fruits and vegetables, and the same thing can also be used in the production of organic manure. Okay, but the person in the manure department, he may not be aware that the raw material has already been procured for the fruits and vegetable department. So he may again procure the raw material for the organic manure. Okay, this type of duplicacy of resources or wastage of resources may come up. Okay, and there might be differences or difficulties in communication between the different divisions. Fine. Then comes the matrix structure. This is another structure which is available for different business organizations. Now, under this matrix structure, now what is a matrix? I hope you all know. It's a chart. We can call it a grid. Okay. All dots are connected to the other dots in some way or the other. The different dots are connected, and in a way, it's a grid. Okay, it's a grid pattern. Fine. So in a matrix structure, what happens? There is cross-functional team. Okay. Now what happens here? Let's take an example. Suppose we are a company who works in engineering field. Okay. So we let's say that we take up different projects. Okay, and we give engineering solutions to different projects. Okay. So this engineer who is working on for the company, now this company is coming up with a new idea, okay, or one manager is coming up with a new idea, and he may say, okay, let's design something, let's design something, and let's go for manufacturing this particular product. Let's plan to expand our business. So we are doing different projects where engineering facilities are provided by us. Now let us expand and let us create a design and let us start manufacturing this. Now suppose this design is something related to engineering instruments. Okay. Now what will happen here? The engineer who was working on a different project earlier as a whole for the company, he will again be asked that, okay, this work is going on. Now, since we are starting a new work, you come and you start working even here. Okay. So at the time, this person is working in another project, and at the same time, he is also working in this designing of engineering instrument project also. Okay. Or maybe let's say that the company is into construction. Okay. They are into construction of roads and bridges. Fine. Now they want to design and manufacture some small engineering instruments or equipments. So the engineers who are deployed in the construction or in the construction purpose, they might be asked that, okay, you put forward your ideas. This is a new project. You come and also work over here. There comes in the concept of the matrix structure or the grid structure. Okay. So, what are the advantages and disadvantages of the matrix or the grid structure? It allows supervisors to easily choose individuals by the needs of a project. So whoever will be the lead project person or the lead supervisor for the new project, he can easily choose at his own will that which person he wants to work for his project. Okay, suppose there are three engineers, he will say, okay, one of you, the one whom he thinks is eligible, he will say that you come and you you take part or help me out in this project also. Okay, so it gives a more dynamic view of the organization. As I said, that we have resources, we have people who are working in a particular area. Now we want to venture in a different area in a dynamic manner. So taking help or taking recourse of the matrix structure, a dynamic view can be achieved. Okay, it encourages employees to use their skills in different capacities, isn't it? So the engineer who was earlier working in the construction purpose, now he can also contribute. If he has idea of designs of instrumentations, he can also contribute in this particular work. So they can diversify and they can use their different skills. Okay. And if we look into the disadvantages, it may present a conflict between the different department managers and project managers. Now, one engineer working in two or three simultaneous projects, it may hamper the original work where he was actually appointed under a single manager. So conflict may arise at that level. Okay. Then there is the hierarchical structure. Now, when we talk about hierarchical structure, it can be either functional or divisional or matrix. Okay, here it is said that even the functional structure can have a different hierarchy. Even a matrix structure will be having a hierarchy. Now, on the basis of hierarchy, that is on the basis of decision making process. Remember, we talked about centralized decision making and decentralized decision making, isn't it, at the beginning? So here, when we talk about hierarchy, we are talking about the process through which the decisions flow down. In what manner the decisions are coming from the top level to the bottom level. Okay, fine. Now, when there is a hierarchical structure, it also helps in compliances. Yesterday, we have discussed about the different compliances required. So, when the concept of compliances come up, if there is a set hierarchy, then everybody knows that who is responsible for which particular work or which particular compliance, who is responsible to fulfill this particular work. So that hierarchy is set up and it is related to the flowing down of information, or we can say the centralization and decentralization or the controlling authority. Okay, the bigger the organization, there will be more hierarchy. The smaller the organization, there will be a smaller or lower level of hierarchy. Okay, now what are the advantages and disadvantages of this process? So when we talk about the advantages, it defines the levels of authority, of course, as we have been discussing, and the responsibility. If there is a fixed hierarchy is already set, if it is maintained, then we will know that who is having what authority, isn't it? Now, a person at the lower level, he does not has the authority to make an increment in the salary, isn't it? Who has that authority? That authority is in the hand of the top level. Fine. So, if there is an increment given or if there are promotions made, then who will convey to the lower level? The authority or the order will be coming from the top level. It will be coming in the hands of the mid level, and they will be transferring the information to the lower level. So there is a set. We can call it bureaucracy, or we can call it the set structure or a set pattern is fixed, and even the responsibilities are strictly determined. Okay, then it shows who each person reports to. Now this is important, or who to talk to about specific projects. Now, if it is a very large organization, okay, and there is no set hierarchy. Fine. Then we will not know, as working as employees, we will not know to whom to report, isn't it? Suppose a set hierarchy is absent, okay, then the person working in the finance department, fine, he has a confusion with some of his audit reports, okay, there is no finance head, or maybe it is not clearly mentioned, fine, then he will be in a dilemma, he will be in a ambiguity, that whom should I report with my report, okay, should I directly go to the CEO, should I directly go to the chief finance officer, the CFO, or to whom? Okay. If it is said that okay, you have to report to the finance manager, the finance manager will report to the finance head or to the CFO. If this set pattern is clearly determined or mentioned, then it becomes easy. Okay. Then it motivates employees with clear career path and chances for promotion. Of course, if a set hierarchy is in place, then I know, suppose I'm working as a sales representative. I am given a set target. I will know that if I fulfill my target, if I fulfill my sales target, then I might be promoted as a team, maybe a team manager, or maybe as a area sales manager, okay, or maybe a block manager, or maybe I'll be given as a district manager or district head, okay. I'll know my set path, one step, the next step, where will I stand, I reach that step, then what will be my next step. So this career path will be fixed for me, okay. Then it creates camaraderie between employees within the same department, of course. Now, what might be the disadvantages? It can slow down innovation or important changes due to increased bureaucracy. Now, if there is a huge line of hierarchy, or huge number of people, or large scale of people, one following the other following the other, and everybody is waiting for the command from the superior level. Nobody is taking any decision, and everybody is waiting for approvals and commands and permissions. Okay, it may delay the process. It may delay not only innovation, it may delay any process, isn't it? Which normally happens, which you can sometimes see in the government organizations, okay, in the government companies, that everybody is waiting for the authority, for the permission to come from the top level. Everybody is answerable to someone, okay. So in that cases, you might find that a delayed process, or the work may take some time to be fulfilled, okay. And it can cause employees to act in interest of the department instead of the company as a whole. Now, remember we were talking about departmentalization. Even in that process, there will be a set hierarchy. So if there is a very strict division, a strict diversity, a strict bifurcation, then what will happen? That the people or the employee, they will be wanting only their department to come into the focus, to come into the limelight. So they will forget that we are working for a company as a whole. Okay, so if there are 100 or 200 employees in the production department, they will only work, they will only want for the production department to shine and to do good, isn't it? So it may hamper in the uh, in the contributions towards the company as a whole. So as you can say, I'm repeating this again and again, because the larger your company, the larger or the complex your structure becomes. The smaller or the limited your company is, the easier it is to be managed, isn't it? Then there is something known as the flat structure. Now, this looks very simple, okay, but again there are some complications over here. Now, what happens in a flat structure, that they try to remove different layers of management, so that everybody would go and easily report to the boss. Okay, so instead of creating a very complicated or a very long chain of management, or long chain of divisions or hierarchy, what happens that some organizations decide that let's do away with all of these differences, and let's keep it very simple. Let's opt for a flat structure. Okay. Now here what happens? Everybody will go and report to the top person, the head person, isn't it? But this becomes, in a way, it becomes difficult to control. See what happens here. If we talk about the advantages, we have already said that it is probably one of the most detailed one. It's a very simple one, no complications, isn't it? No complications. And it's very clear who will report to whom, where will the person go. At the end, everybody is going and reporting to the topmost person, and he is taking on the decisions. Okay. it can be more productive in an environment where there is less hierarchy related pressure. So as you will know, now when you start your organization, that day itself you will know what structure you want to opt for. If you say that, okay, ma'am, I'm starting in a very small scale, let me opt for the flat structure now. Okay, fine, you opt for the flat structure. But later on, when you increase in scale, when you expand your business, okay, even then, if you continue with the flat structure, it will be creating troubles. Now, what trouble it might be there? If there's a time when teams in a flat organization disagree on something, it can be hard to get them aligned and back on track without executive decisions from a leader or manager. So, how to what extent or how far will one single person handle, isn't it? It is not possible for the for an entrepreneur or for a for the promoter or for the business head to take each and every micro decision, isn't it? So for micro decisions, he has to create even a very small or a very minimum level of hierarchy. Okay, if it is absent, if it is a totally flat structure, then for each and every, even for the very smallest of the small decisions, that topmost person or the head person has to has to scratch his head, if I tell, isn't it? So at that time it will become difficult. And if the business is expanding and increasing, then the flat structure, if you continue with the flat structure, it will be creating trouble. Okay, it can be tricky to determine which manager an employee should go to if they need the approval or an executive decision for something. So everybody is at par with one another. So it may create confusions that if an employee, he will not know that there are two managers or three managers. Whom do I go? Whom do I ask help for? Whom do I report to? So this type of disadvantages may crop up in a flat structure. Okay. Now, after discussing the different business structures, there is something known as our stages of an organization. I'll quickly check the chat box once if there is any message. Okay. If you have any queries or any doubt, please you can drop in the chat box. So I'll be checking the chat box in between, and even at the end of the session, we can discuss on your queries. Even from yesterday's session, if you have any queries, and even today's session, then you can drop it in the chat box. Okay, fine. So the chat box looks empty as of now. So if you have any queries, then please drop in the chat box. Okay. Now, when we talk about stages of an organization, now this happens with each and every organization. Okay, it happens even with the smallest organization, even with the smallest venture, and it happens even with the largest of organizations. Fine. Now, the first stage is the startup stage. When we start our business, this is the stage where all you participants are here, isn't it? All of you, you all want to start your own business, isn't it? You all are small startups, isn't it? So you have an aim to be an entrepreneur, you have an aim to expand your business, but where will you begin from? You will begin from as a startup, isn't it? You will begin from a very small level, from a very low level, isn't it? And only then you can expand, isn't it? Yeah, if you all know about the company Infosys, isn't it? All of you have heard about Infosys. So how did they start from? They started from one single room. Okay, there was only one room with one PC, and there all the three partners they worked, and from that single room business, now Infosys is such a large company, such a huge company, isn't it? So every large business at the beginning they go through these different stages. Okay, so at the first, you are a startup. Then slowly the growth stage will creep in, isn't it? It will come in the growth. You will slowly start seeing slowly start seeing growth in your production. You will see growth in your sales. You will see growth in your client base, which is very important. You will see growth in your goodwill, isn't it? So each and every business, after crossing some amount of time, there is a gestation period. I hope topics of break-even point and all these things are discussed. I think it will be discussed even if not yet. So after crossing these certain small steps, after crossing some amount of growth stage, you reach the stage of expansion. Now you may plan to diversify your business. You may plan to expand. Now, when I say diversification, what is the meaning of diversification? Let's take a small example. If I give you the example of ITC, okay, Indian Tobacco Company. Now ITC started with what? It started with cigarettes, isn't it? It's a tobacco company. They started with cigarette manufacturing, isn't it? Now slowly, when we talk about diversification, we see that the original company is in place, okay, and it has started business in different areas, non-related areas, okay. So if we talk about ITC is manufacturing edible products like atta, maida, biscuits, all these things, isn't it? Ashirvad atta, it's a product of ITC. Then Sunfeast biscuits, it's a product of ITC, isn't it? So this is one area where they have diversified. Fine. Then there is another area where ITC is operating. I'm sure all of you or most of you might be using classmate products, classmate copies, classmate pen, pencil, all these things, stationery products. So they have diversified to stationery products. Fine. ITC is also into the hotel business, okay, in hospitality business. So if you notice that starting from one business, maintaining that particular tobacco business, they have diversified into different areas. The same is the case with Reliance. The same is the case with Tata. Okay, you find Tata Salt, you find Tata Sky, Dish TV, isn't it? You find Tata is into insurance, Tata AIG life insurance, if I'm not wrong. Then Tata is into gold, okay, Tanishq and all these things. Then watch manufacturing, isn't it? So diversified non-related areas. So this shows expansion. Okay, this shows diversification. If you say that, okay, I am dealing in a very small area, let us take as example, these were huge examples, isn't it? Let me take a very small example from your from your work area. That suppose you are working in food processing. Okay, you are into processing of pickles or jams in a very small scale. Okay, you are a startup. Slowly you have grown. Okay, there is a growth in your business. You have spread out in your small own district. Now you want to expand. How will you expand? You will be coming to Dimapur. Let's say you are working at your home in a village in Nagaland, and now while expanding, you have come to Dimapur, your main town, and there you have set up a small showroom. Okay, you have taken up a small shop. Okay, and this shows that you are growing and you are expanding your business. Okay, now in your main location in Dimapur, you are selling your locally made or manufactured products. You're selling your organically grown mushroom. You're selling your hot chilies. You're selling your juice and jam and pickles, whatever you're manufacturing. You're selling your poultry products. Since you all are dealing in this product, that's why I'm giving you an example. Now, again, if I talk about expansion, you can say that slowly, taking a couple of years' time, now you slowly start distributing your product to the different nearby states. You sell your product in Assam, you sell your product in Meghalaya, in Mizoram, in Arunachal, isn't it? So slowly you are expanding your business. Just giving you another example from our local brand which operates in Assam. I don't know whether you are aware of it or not, but it is a very famous brand in Assam. Its name is this one, Repose. Okay, Repose is into bakery products. Okay, starting from bakery, now they have set up outlets, eating outlets. Okay, they have set up small eatery outlets. Okay, in almost all the districts of Assam. Okay, almost all the districts, and it's not one two day. I think I don't know the exact number, but in Guwahati, if I talk about this our location in Guwahati itself, I think there are around I think there'll be more than 20 plus maybe repose stores, repose outlets. Okay, in every nook and corner they have come up. If you go to Mongoldoy area, it's a small area nearby to Guwahati, 2 hours distance. You will find they have set up a huge restaurant. They've created it in the form of a resort, a mini resort. So the way they are expanding, the way they are growing, it is huge. It started in a very small manner, locally made products, locally made bakery products, and from there they have expanded in such a huge, in a huge manner within the state. Okay, so after crossing your expansion stage, there is a stage of maturity. Now you are a well set brand. You have a good amount of brand recognition. People know you, people identify you easily, and you are doing very well in your business. Okay. After this stage, most organizations they face the stage of destruction, where a slope or the curve may fall down at this stage. Okay, if you can cross this stage, if you can prevent your business from collapsing or from getting shut down, then you can continue for a longer period. In case you fall prey to the destruction phase, that you are no longer able to maintain your business, there can be various reasons. Maybe the person who started the business, suppose he passed away, and the other people, his other members in the family, or maybe the other partners, they are not able to continue the business. Even that can be a reason of shutting down, isn't it? Suppose there is huge financial crisis, even that may lead to the destruction phase. Let's take the very recent example, this pandemic. Don't you think this pandemic has led to shutting down of huge number of business organizations? So many small organizations have shut down. There is no other way. Just take an example of different beauty parlors. So many of them had to close down. Why? Because they had taken a rented space. There was no income for 5 6 months. They were unable to pay the rent to the landlord, and they were just thrown out. There was news where girls working in beauty parlor, they were sitting down on the road and they were crying. Okay, because the landowner has thrown them out. So this is just one example I'm giving. There are so many small restaurants which we have seen, they were doing so well, but just because of this pandemic, they were no longer able to sustain. Okay, so there may be various reasons of shutting down of the business, but if you cross these hardships, you cross this phase, then your business will continue and it will again grow and grow, and it will reach a very large stage. Okay, so these were the different stages of an organization. Now, after this, what we will be discussing, that what are the different signs which may indicate that we need to change our business structure. The structure which we were discussing, what what signs may lead to changing of the business structure. Okay, I'm again checking the chat box once very quickly. Okay, no messages. Fine. So firstly, when we might need to change our business structure, all that we have discussed till now, what situations may lead to? There may be tough competition leading to unsustainability, isn't it? So we may have a huge number of rivals coming up. We may have a huge number of competitors coming up, and we may have to compete with them. So when we have to compete with different competitors or different rivals, what we have to do? We have to reorganize ourselves, isn't it? Wherever we were lacking, we need to update ourselves. We have to reorganize ourselves. So this may demand changing of the organizational structure. Let me give you a very small example. Let's say that I am a restaurant. I'm a very small restaurant working in a small manner, and now I have I have expanded my sitting capacity. Okay, earlier maybe 5 or 6 people could just sit and eat, and now I have slowly expanded. At a time, let's say 10 or 15 people can sit and eat, and I have expanded the ambience. I have given it beautiful lights and beautiful decor. I have introduced and all these things. Okay, just opposite to my restaurant, I see that another restaurant is coming up, which is offering a different variety of food. Okay. And slowly I noticed, maybe in a period of 5 to 6 months or 1 year, I noticed that the footfall in my restaurant is slowly going down, and the restaurant which has newly come up opposite to my restaurant, their footfall is increasing, their sales is increasing. Now what this may indicate? This may indicate that I need to implement certain changes. Okay, what I can do, what are the different things or what are the different steps can I do? Firstly, I can appoint someone to create a good brand image for my restaurant. I may design my own logo and create an identity, and I may say, okay, you just go and market our restaurant. What he will do, he will go and set up different hoardings, or he may put up different banners in different locations to indicate that this is a restaurant and we serve this product. Why I have to do this? Because now I'm having a new competitor in the market who is just sitting opposite to me and who is pulling away all my customers. Okay, so now the moment, earlier it was me taking care of all the things. The moment I appoint someone, what am I doing? I am shifting my structure. There is someone who will be now reporting to me. He may say that, okay, ma'am, I need two more people to help me in putting up the posters and distributing the banners and all these things. I said, okay, fine. You recruit two people. Now, slowly my structure is expanding or not? Slowly my structure is increasing, isn't it? So, this type of competition may lead to change in the structure. Okay. Then we may find that morale is low and people are leaving. Suppose I'm having an organization with around 50 to 100 employees. Okay, and I observe that the people, they are leaving my organization. Maybe they are going for better jobs, maybe they are going for different other avenues, or they are finding this particular work very monotonous, or very they are not satisfied. Then what may happen? I may have to bring in a change, I may have to bring in a shift to boost their morale and to stop and to retain them from leaving the organization. Because see, you may say that, okay, ma'am, one person leaves, I will hire two other person. There is no dearth of people wanting work, isn't it? Of course there is no dearth of people wanting work or wanting to get employed, but the people who are working in your organization, they have some amount of experience or not. The moment they leave, they take away all their experience with them. The new recruits or the new people whom you have to hire, you will again have to train them according to your organizational norms, isn't it? So retaining your old and experienced employees becomes very much important when you are planning to expand or when you're planning to grow your business. Fine. Then again, what may happen that no new products are being released. This may again show that there are other brands which are quickly coming up in the market, and since I have no new product, it may indicate that yes, it's time I change my structure. It's time I bring in some new innovations, some new ideas, some new products, and bounce back into the market once again. Then revenue or profit is accelerating or de-accelerating. Now, in case of revenue, higher amount of revenue or revenue acceleration, what may happen that the present organizational structure may not be able to take care of it. Then we may need to change the organizational structure so that the expansion can be taken care of. If the revenue generation or if the profit making is coming down, it is falling, then what will happen? That we it may indicate that something is going wrong, something is wrong in the organization, and we need to change, we need to shift to a different structure to increase our profits. Okay. Now, any queries, any doubts up till now, participants? Want to ask anything? Because after this, I will be starting the team management portion. So we are just coming to the end of the organizational structure portion. So you want to ask anything? No? The session gets interesting when you interact, isn't it? So if you, anything, any query, it's not that you just need to ask something from the PPT itself. Anything if you want to know, if I am able to answer. If I'm not able to answer, then I will of course hand it over to other panelists. Okay, I think no queries. Fine, let's proceed then. Okay, so what is the proposed organizational structure of the company? Now this is in relation. One second. Yeah. Now this is in relation to your project work. So if you want to start your business in a very small way, in a small, as a small unit or as a sole proprietor, then the ownership, the decision making, the financial operations, the legal obligations, all these things who will take care of? It will be the sole proprietor only. In this case, what structure will you say? You cannot say that I'll follow the matrix structure, I'll follow the divisional structure. In your cases, you will not be able to say that. So who will take care of all this different area of work? It will be the sole proprietor themselves. Okay, let's have some interaction. Okay, let's have some interaction. Dear participants, please tell me in what areas you all are working your project. Uh, yes, dear participants, it is always getting a one-way communication, isn't it? So it'll be nice if you share in what area. Poultry. Okay. L Imchen, I can see you're working in poultry. So can you tell me what you plan to do? Mushroom cultivation. Very interesting. Nice. So what do you plan to start up as? Do you plan to start up as a sole proprietor? You plan to start up with your friends as a partnership? How do you want to proceed? Sericulture. Very interesting. Visually Feho, if I'm not wrong in pronouncing. Sericulture. Nice. So how do you plan? I mean, what strategy you want to apply? This is interesting. You can tell me, yeah, for mushroom cultivation, you're doing it individually? Okay. L Inchen, yes. So since you're doing it individually, so this will be in a form of a sole proprietorship. What about the other participants? All of you, all are doing it individually? Any plan for partnership? Yes, other participants? Okay, everybody is doing it individually. Okay, Vijaya Lakshmi. Okay. Ponjan, am I right in the pronunciation? Cocktier Ponjan. You're trying to get a partner. Okay. So I hope you get a partner. You plan for a partnership. So Ponjan, in which area you are planning to work in? Cocktier Ponjan, if I'm right. You are planning in which area? Your marketing. Okay. So in what product? For mushroom. Okay. You're looking for a marketing partner in mushroom. See, this is the benefit, or this is the advantage of interaction actually, isn't it? So you get to share your ideas. Nice. Good. So I hope somebody helps him out in marketing his mushrooms. Okay. Somebody helps him in branding the product. Okay. Nice. Good. All the best. Fine. Let's continue. Let's continue. Okay. So, when you do your business, when you plan to start your unit as a sole proprietor, then all the different organizational structure functions, who will take care of? The sole proprietor. You yourself will take care of it. Now, as someone told me that he wants to get into a partnership. He's looking for a partner for marketing his mushrooms, isn't it? So, in that area, who will take care of his marketing department? His partner will take care of his marketing department. So decision making will be again divided. There will be decision making for marketing. Both of them can take it up together, isn't it? So decision making for finance and legal obligations and everything, he himself can take these different decisions, isn't it? So depending on your structure, depending on your company, depending on what type of business you want to do, your structure will vary. Fine. Okay. Next. Yeah. For larger business units, your plan, your structure plan will be based according to the scale of your business, which I have already told you that depending on your scale of business. Now, suppose the example of mushroom. Okay. Now he's planning for a partnership. Now slowly his business is growing. The mushrooms are in high demand. Okay. Now he's packaging and selling. Okay. Slowly the expansion he has crossed the growth stage, and now he has reached the expansion stage in his mushroom cultivation. Okay. Now what will happen? Depending on the scale, you will now have to take care of your structure. Okay. So now you had a partner for marketing. Now you may need someone who is specialized in finance to arrange for the loans. Yesterday we have discussed on the different schemes where loans are available. Remember, we have discussed about ST Hub. We have discussed about Stand Up India, isn't it? We have discussed on different schemes, how and where you can get loan. So if you have someone, if you hire someone, or if you partner up with someone for your financial advices, then again there will be a change or shift in the structure. Now again, as you grow, as you expand, okay, you will be having to go for your GST registration. You will be having to go for your income tax returns. You will be having to file your audits, isn't it? Audit returns. So again, as your business increases, as it grows, you will have to hire someone. You will have to bring in someone who will take care of your taxes, who will take care of filing your GST return. So in this way, your structure will again keep getting changed, and new inclusions will be continuing. Okay. Next, how will you select the structure which will help you achieve your business goals? Now, all of you have different business goals. Yesterday, when Soman sir was discussing yesterday's first session, when Soman sir was discussing, he has shown some documents. Some of you, two of you, or maybe three of you have discussed your business plan or business model with him, and you have written your vision, isn't it? So I just saw a few of it yesterday actually. So when you have written your vision and mission, you know that you have a set goal, isn't it? There is a set goal in your mind, and to fulfill that goal, how your business structure will help you to achieve that goal, to achieve that mission or that vision. Okay. So what we will do, we will have to identify the different roles. What type of different roles? As I have been saying, the different roles which will be played by the different people. Now, suppose I want to do my business individually, then I do not need to identify other roles, other people, isn't it? I will only have to take care of all the different roles. Now, as one of the participants said that he wants to get a partner in marketing. Okay. So he has identified that for the role of marketing, he needs someone. Tomorrow, he may identify that for the role of production, he may need someone else. Isn't it? So, identification of role becomes important. Only then we can decide what structure we will follow. Okay. Then supervision comes into play. The second point, supervision. Now, why supervision is important? Because remember, we talked about authority, we talked about centralization and decentralization of power. Remember? So, who will supervise whom? How will the information flow? How will the authority flow? All this will be, this will be helping us to fulfill the goals and also help us to decide on our business structure. Then, of course, the different departments and groups. What different groups we need in our organization? That will again help us identify the organization structure which we want. Okay. I'll just wait for 2 minutes before we move on to the next topic, that is team management. Organizational structure is over. If there is any query, you can ask me, or we will move to the next portion, that is team management. Okay, let's move on to the next part of our discussion, that is team management. Now, what is a team? I'm sure all of you know what is the meaning of team, isn't it? You may have teamed up for different projects in your university, for maybe different competitions you have formed a team, isn't it? For sports you have formed a team. We all know what is team. Now, if we talk about organization from the point of view of business, what we will say, what is a team? It is a group of individuals who are working together for a common purpose to meet one particular goal or to fulfill one particular goal. A group of people come together and they work together. Okay? The individuals comprising a team should have common goals, common objectives, or more or less they should think on the same lines. Now, one of the participants, they have said that not one, two of them have said that they are doing mushroom cultivation. If I open your chat box, uh, Motuala L Imchen, the member has said about mushroom cultivation, and Cocktier Pongen. Even you have talked about mushroom. Okay, so since you have a common idea in your mind that we want to work, both of us want to work for mushroom cultivation, isn't it? So both of you can team up, isn't it? Because your goal is common, in your area of work is common. So if you feel that you can team up, then you can easily do it. Someone told about sericulture. If there is someone else who is dealing in sericulture or working in similar lines, then you can form a team. Now, this person, Mr. Ponjan, he is looking for a partner. So, the other person who is also into mushroom cultivation, what you can do, you both of you can team up and you can say that, okay, together we will do the cultivation. One of us will take care of the marketing, and the other, then another one of us we will take care of all the production and the distribution process, isn't it? So having a common goal, having in the, or thinking in the same line, you can team up, you can form a team. Team can be of 2%, 3%. Okay, single person cannot form a team, of course. So if there are 2 or 3 people getting together, you can easily form a team, isn't it? It's a small group of people coming together who wants to work together. Right? So this is in a very small scale. The example I have given you in a very small scale. Just think of a large organization. Just think that after 5 years, your organization is going to be one of the most famous organizations of Nagaland. Who knows, isn't it? You may become a very reputed and a very popular brand, isn't it? So imagine if you reach that stage, what amount of team members you will be having. You will be having huge number of employees working for your organization. So at that point of time, team management will become very important for you. Okay. Now, what is team management? Now we understood what is a team. Now talking about team management. Now, when we talk about team management, it refers to various activities which bind the team together, bring the team members closer, and achieve the set targets. That means different activities takes place. Okay, remember, team members, when it is a team, they have to have common goals and common line of thinking. Now, let me tell you something. A team is different from a group. Okay, if I say group of people, then each individual present in the group may have different goals for themselves. Okay, they may be thinking in different ways. They may have different line of work. So if I say that all the participants here, you people are a group, okay, you are a group of budding entrepreneurs. Now when I say group, all of you have different ideas, different goals, different projects in your mind, isn't it? When I say team, that means you have something in common. Your goal is common, your activity area is common. There you form a team. Okay. Now, when I said team management, remember when the goal is common, your activities will also work in the same line. Okay. So, when there is team management, different activities are taken place or are conducted, which brings the team members together. It binds the team members together. Okay. And it helps them or it brings them closer to achieve their set targets. Fine. Now, what is the benefit of having a team? Now, let me give you another example. Imagine it's a large company, it's a big company, okay, and the person, the owner, he gets a very big order. Let's say it's a boutique, okay, it's a boutique, and the boutique is managed by one owner, and he has, let's say he has, it's a small boutique, and he has two or three tailors, okay, and he designs his own um, the material and the designs for the different attires for the clothes. That person, he himself designs, okay, and there is someone who is specialized in the tailoring part and has idea and knowledge of the designing portion, okay, and he manages the tailors, okay. Now this owner, this person, he gets a very huge order from someone, okay. Let's say he gets an order for a function and he needs to prepare 10 or 20 dresses, say within a period of 7 days, okay. This person creating different designs, 10 or 12 or 15 designs within a very short period of time is not possible, isn't it? So within 7 or 10 days, he has to even deliver the product. Okay. So if he spends 5 to 7 days in creating the designs only, when will the tailors, when will they manufacture, when will they produce the product, isn't it? So what he can do, he can take help of this person who manages the tailors and has knowledge about designs. He can tell that person that please help me out. Let's work together in this project. Let's share the profits. Let's share the money, and let us create the designs. You create 5 designs. Let me create another 5 designs. Our work will become more efficient, and of course, we can deliver to the client on time, on date, isn't it? The moment I take help of someone else, I form a team and I work together, we work together, the work becomes easy, it becomes efficient, delivery to the client on time, it happens, and of course, a goodwill is created for the organization. The same will happen for your own products. Imagine you get a huge order. Remember, yesterday we discussed about the GEM portal, the government e-marketplace. Suppose you got a very huge order for supply of mushrooms, okay, and at that point of time you do not have that much amount of stock, okay, stock ready mushrooms you do not have that you can immediately deliver. What the two of you can do, whoever said, or both of you, that you are working in mushroom, what you can do, both of you can tie up. You say, okay, I have 10 kg ready now, you please provide me the remaining 5 kgs. Let's work as a team. Let's get this order. Let's not let the order not get cancelled. You both can work. You bring in the money, you get in the revenue, and you divide the revenue between both of you. So there comes in the teamwork, the team management, even in a very small scale of business. Okay. Now, what are the different tips for effective team management? Now, when you are working in a team or you have a team to guide, you have a team working under you or working for you, then how will you effectively manage your team, or in what ways will the team become more effective, more productive? Transparency happens, okay. If as I said earlier, even remember the team structure when we talked about, When there is a team, there is more transparency in the work. You usually do not hide information from your team members, isn't it? It has to be transparent, and the business gets transparent, isn't it? Now, communication has to be there between the team members. If there is no communication, how will you know which person is working in which area, or how much work one person has completed and how much is left. Effective communication has to be present between the team for proper team management. Okay, if you are managing a team, then you have to bring in transparency, you have to bring in effective communication. Constant taking of feedback is another important factor. Okay, what happens when you take feedback? If the feedback is good, okay, you tell your team members that okay, so and so, Mr. XYZ, your feedback is very good. Keep it up. Keep working hard, and we appreciate your good work. The moment you give this positive feedback, the person is encouraged to work better, isn't it? Suppose there is a negative feedback. Okay, in case of a negative feedback, what can you say? That okay, Mr. So and so, this is a little negative remark which I have received. Kindly work upon this area. So when you let him know that where he is lacking in a good way, in a polite manner, then he can work on that particular area, and he can improve his efficiency, isn't it? So constant giving of feedback to your team members becomes important. Then collaboration is important, because whenever you collaborate, it makes things interesting, and your team members, they will get to work in diverse fields, in diversified areas. Okay, and you need to trust your team members. If you do not trust your team members, they will not give their 100%. What they will say, okay, I'll do this, but my boss is not going to trust me. He will again recheck, and he will again change the work. He will again do it. He will again redo it by his own self. So this may pull down their efficiency. It may pull down their contribution. So if you want an effective team, if you want to do, or you want to perform effective team management, you have to trust your team members. Okay. Now, there is something, or there's someone known as idea originator. Now, when we are talking about team management, the concept of idea originator comes in. Okay. Now, who is an idea originator? It is the person who have developed the business idea. Okay. In your case, if I take your example, let me tell you, um, Visuele Quejo, you said that you want to work in sericulture, isn't it? Then Moatula, you said that you want to work in poultry. So this is your own business idea, isn't it? This is your own experience you want to get, or your own idea which you have developed. Depending on this particular idea, you are going to frame your business plan, isn't it? So you are the idea generator. You are the idea originator for your own particular business. Okay. So tomorrow, when your business expands, when it grows, okay, when it diversifies, okay, what role will you have to play? You will have a very important role, that constant innovation you need to keep bringing in, isn't it? You will be having an ongoing business, since it was your idea. You know why you started this business. You know that instead of going for, let's say that you have opted for poultry instead of dairy product. Why didn't you go for food processing? Of course you could have gone for food processing, but you have opted for poultry. That means you have done your SWOT analysis, isn't it? You know that these are your strengths. You will be able to perform well if you take up poultry farming or poultry business, isn't it? So you have a concept, you have an idea behind your mind, and with that idea, with that spark, you are starting your business, isn't it? So tomorrow when your business expands, when it grows, you will be the catalyst, you will play the pivotal role. You will know that how, why, and where to expand, because you will be doing constant research that okay, I have now started my poultry, I've started my poultry business. For constant innovation, for constant upgradation, you will have to do constant research. So the more research you do, that how and where to expand, and what new additions to bring in, as your business grows, your role, your importance will keep on growing, isn't it? So ongoing business plus constant innovation. Let's take a very small example again, in a larger scale, in a bigger picture. I have already given you the example of Apple. Remember, the innovation, constant innovations are coming in. Okay. If we talk about Canon, okay, I've not given the symbol of Canon over here. If we talk about Canon is into photography gears, isn't it? Now, what is the recent introduction, the recent innovation in Canon? Very micro level cameras you can easily hang. It is in a size of pen drive. You can just Google and see. You can just do some search. The recent cameras which Canons are about to launch, they are in the format of a pen drive. It's just as a size pen drive, which can easily hang in your neck. You just tie it to that, to that rope which you tie in your pen drives, and that those hanging things, and you can easily wear it in your neck, just like a pendant or just like a pen drive. Okay, you can video record. You can easily do that. So that is the recent innovation come from Canon. Okay, if we talk about Swiggy, who imagined? Okay, Swiggy, Zomato, all yeah. Am I audible? Okay. I think there was a connection problem. Okay. We are just at the last, I think this is the last slide. This is the last stage. So, what features or characteristics will ensure that the team you have is a good one, is a efficient or effective one? Okay. If your team has a clear and elevating goal, if your goals are clear, your team knows what objectives it needs to achieve. In that case, it is yeah. Just quickly to wrap up this, if your team is result oriented, okay,
If it is result driven, then we can say that the team is very much effective and is a good team. Okay, you have competent members who are willing to give their best. Your team members are competent enough in their own areas. Then again, it's a very effective team. Unified commitment towards achieving the goals and a collaborative climate. This ensures that okay, I don't know what there's a problem going on. I think I was muted. Okay, and the last one: how do you build your team? Okay, how you build a very effective team, or in what way will your team function, or how to build an effective team? So you will always understand the team members. You should know in what core areas they are capable of doing their work and how much efficient they are. Understanding team members becomes very okay. And the goal or objective of the team must be clearly defined. As I have said, the team must know what goals they want to achieve. Okay. Promote effective communication amongst team members. Free flowing of communication amongst all the members is a very important ingredient for a team to function. Okay, avoid conflicts. Of course, no fights or no conflicts between the team members. Things should go smooth, isn't it? Then various activities and events to promote to promote a good relationship between the team members. You go out for picnic together, you may celebrate a small event together, you may celebrate a function together, isn't it? So this type of activities helps to build the team spirit. Okay, then while appointing a leader for your team, you should be very careful. Okay, who is the leader? Does he have leadership quality? Can he will he be able to guide his team in the right direction? These things must be considered. And of course, as we have discussed, taking a feedback becomes very important. Okay, so in this way, you can build a good team for your organization. So we have come to the end of the presentation. So let me check the chat box once quickly. Okay. Any query or any doubts?
Dear students, ask questions if you have, because all of some of you have already given what your enterprise which you want to set up. So in relation to that, either it is developing organizational structure, creating a structure, or going for an effective team management, team building. If you have any queries, you can come forward and ask either by unmuting yourself or even writing in chat box. Ma'am, as they are
Since
not
we
asking, you can, ma'am,
yes, sir.
as you say, you can also ask one or two questions. If they are not coming up, maybe they are not very clear what they have to ask. You can ask one or two questions so that you can check whether they have taken that concept clearly or not.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah, so as some of the participants have
like they have interacted on the business areas where they want to work. So you can tell me like what they are planning, what structure they plan to implement even in the later stage when they when they expand the business. So they can share their opinion. Yes, participants, those of you who have at least answered Moatula, Mizule, if you can just use the chat box if you don't want to turn on the mic. What do you plan? So initially it will be a small unit, isn't it? So what do you plan? Do you plan to set it up as a company? Do you plan to set it up as a partnership business? Then what structure do you want to implement? You can communicate through the chat box if you want. And other participants also, you can let us know your future plans. Sir, I think they are not yet decided, or maybe
Okay,
they are
no
working.
problem. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe they
they're
are
working
quite,
on their project.
yeah, most of them, they will be starting this project usually right now. Maybe in later stage, they may collaborate, but now they are scattered in a different geographical locations due to
Yes,
this
sir.
pandemic. So they may be little hesitant to decide, but now it is a final stage. Only few days left for them to wind up for making a complete business plan. So now they have to be more active. So thank you so much, ma'am. You have given a very nice concept on organizational structure and developing a team, organizational team. So thank you so much for your deliberation and sparing your
Thank you,
valuable
sir.
time to
Yes,
educate our
it was
students.
a pleasure for me to interact with the participants. Thank you.
Yeah. So with this, we conclude this session, and next session will start only at 5. So there will be a break of 1 hour. Thank you so much.